I'm not that type of person. That's why I was so.
She was 14 when they took her, passed around like property to the most powerful men in the world. And just weeks before her death, Virginia Giuffre recorded something that was never supposed to get out.
A lot of people involved. It took doctors, psychiatrists, gynecologists, dentists. All these people knew what was going on, hairstylists. I mean, the list goes on. I could keep going on and on and on. Drivers, chauffeurs, butlers, housemaids.
A network, not one man, a system. And according to Virginia's final voicemail, one name kept coming up. A name protected by Hollywood, protected by the media, protected by everyone who had something to lose.
But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia. Could I tell you some stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P. Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
So why did Ellen flee the country the moment the Epstein files were announced? Why did her right-hand man take his own life and leave behind a note exposing everything? And what exactly did Virginia Giuffre say in her final recording? A recording that may have cost her everything. Mel Gibson has been warning us about this for years, and now he's finally reacting. But here's what nobody is connecting. Let's go back to where this all started. In the early 2000s, a young woman from the UK named Virginia Giuffre came forward with accusations that would eventually shake governments, topple royalty, and expose a global trafficking operation hiding in plain sight. Virginia claimed that Ghislaine Maxwell recruited her to Jeffrey Epstein's island and forced her to have relations with some of the most powerful men in the world, including members of the British royal family, starting when she was just 14 years old. She had photographs, she had names, she had everything.
It took all of these people turning a blind eye, which they weren't blind to, because we were right there blatantly in front of them. They knew exactly what was going on. Everyone's turned a blind eye in the place where I was supposed to be protected, in my country where I was supposed to be protected.
Virginia revealed that Epstein wasn't some lone predator operating in the shadows. He was the center of a network. Safe houses scattered across the US, the UK, and the Virgin Islands, private jets, underground parties, high-ranking members of governments and media, all present, all participating.
The justice system failed us then. I believe they're going to do something amazing for us now. I really believe in them. I believe that the New York Southern District wants to do the right thing. And I will do everything that I can do to be a part of helping.
Virginia believed justice was coming. She was writing a book, a tell-all memoir that would name every single person she encountered during her time in Epstein's operation. Every flight, every party, every face she was forced to remember. But that book was never finished. In 2019, just weeks before the official release of the Epstein files, Virginia revealed on social media that she was receiving threats from unknown sources, warnings about what would happen if she kept speaking out. And then she posted something that sent chills down everyone's spine, a tweet that read, "I am making it publicly known that in no way, shape, or form am I suicidal. I have made this known to my therapist and GP. If something happens to me, for the sake of my family, do not let this go away and help me to protect them. Too many evil people want to see me quieted." She knew something was coming. She tried to warn us. Shortly after that tweet, Virginia was hit by a truck. She survived. But days later...
Now, I'm Austin Westfall. Breaking news coming in, some sad news to share. We're learning this from the New York Post, several other outlets reporting this as well. Virginia Giuffre, the most prominent victim of the late convicted Jeffrey Epstein, took her own life on Thursday.
Here's where this story takes a dark turn that nobody in the mainstream media is willing to touch. Before Virginia died, she recorded something. A voicemail, a message meant for someone specific, someone she trusted to release it if anything happened to her. The contents of that voicemail have never been officially released, but according to multiple sources who have heard portions of it, Virginia named names, not just Epstein, not just Maxwell, not just Prince Andrew. She talked about the recruiters, the people inside the entertainment industry who funneled young talent directly into Epstein's network. Models, child actors, aspiring stars who thought they were getting their big break.
Many other girls, and a lot of things have happened.
Virginia wasn't just a victim, she was a witness. And in her final days, she was gathering testimony from other survivors, connecting the dots between Epstein's operation and the entertainment industry's darkest secrets. According to leaked fragments of the voicemail, Virginia mentioned a daytime television host, someone beloved by millions, someone whose entire brand was built on kindness and positivity. Someone who, according to Virginia, was far more connected to Epstein's world than anyone realized. Now let me ask you something. Which daytime television host suddenly fled the United States just weeks after the Epstein files were announced for release? Which talk show host changed her entire appearance, going from blonde to brunette for the first time in decades? Which Hollywood personality put her mansion on the market and moved to rural England, telling friends she was never coming back? The timing isn't just suspicious, it's damning. But Ellen's sudden departure wasn't the only red flag. Let's talk about Stephen Twitch Boss. Twitch was Ellen's executive producer, her right-hand man, someone she trusted with everything. He was on her show for years, a constant presence, always smiling, always dancing, always keeping the energy light. But behind that smile, Twitch was carrying something heavy. In December 2022, Twitch took his own life.
More tonight about the tragic suicide of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before his he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him.
The official story is that Twitch was struggling with personal demons, challenges he'd faced in the past, mental health issues that finally caught up to him. But here's what the mainstream media won't tell you. Twitch left a note, and according to sources who have seen portions of that note, it wasn't just about his personal struggles. Twitch allegedly revealed what he saw during his years working with Ellen, things that involved powerful people, names he never expected to be associated with that kind of darkness. He wrote that he had been pressured into silence, that people close to him, even Ellen, were not who they claimed to be.
Challenges. That's the word they used. But what kind of challenges leave a man so broken that he checks into a motel under his own name, switches his phone to airplane mode, and never leaves the room? What did Twitch see? What was he about to reveal? There are reports of a voice note, allegedly a recording Twitch made for Ellen herself before his death, a recording that has never been officially released but has been mentioned in multiple online forums and leaked DMs. The contents? Everything Ellen tried to keep hidden. Think about it. Virginia Giuffre was gathering testimony from other victims. She was connecting Epstein's network to the entertainment industry, and then she dies under suspicious circumstances, leaving behind a voicemail that allegedly names names. Months later, Ellen's closest associate, the one person who saw everything that happened behind the scenes of her show, takes his own life and leaves behind a note exposing the truth. And shortly after that, Ellen flees the country. Coincidence? Now here's where Mel Gibson comes in. For years, Mel Gibson has been warning people about what really goes on in Hollywood. He's talked about the sickness at the top, the rituals, the exploitation, the things people in power do to maintain their youth and influence. Most people dismissed him as crazy, blacklisted, a conspiracy theorist. But everything Mel Gibson said is now being proven true. When Virginia Giuffre's connection to Ellen started circulating online, Mel Gibson didn't stay quiet. According to sources close to him, Gibson has been vocal in private conversations about what he calls the network, a system of powerful individuals who protect each other at all costs. Gibson allegedly stated that Ellen's sudden departure from the U.S. wasn't about politics, it wasn't about Donald Trump winning the election, it was about the Epstein files. He's been quoted as saying that when those files drop, the entire entertainment industry will collapse. And if you think that's an exaggeration, look at what Ellen was joking about on her own show in front of millions of viewers. Not everybody, just those that I thought would appreciate it. Explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these needles, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. What are you pushing into the skin? Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores. But what is it? It is an extraction from a young person far, far away. Did you catch that? An extraction from a young person far away. Ellen and Sandra Bullock laughed about it on national television like it was a joke. But here's the thing. This isn't a joke to everyone.
Technology that Peter and I are investing in is called SCNT, which takes the egg of a young, perfect woman specimen, takes the egg and takes out the nucleus and puts our DNA in the nucleus. They just go in and take it out.
It's painful, right?
Huh?
Is it painful?
Yeah, a little bit. And this is part of this genetic greatness that we don't see in any other race on the planet. These curvy black women from Africa. You girls have a kind of a monopoly on this genetic perfection, and we want some of that. So, girls, for $100, we will pay you for your egg.
No, you gotta be out of your monkey.
You want-
You can get paid a lot more than that.
So how much do you want for it? Let's bid.
Yeah, but we spent
I bid
a lot.
$500 for, you know.
I'm prepared to outbid him anyway.
Whatever I bid, he's gonna outbid me.
I bought about $60,000 worth of eggs.
Yeah.
If you have abortion, that's very valuable. Umbilical cord, placenta, even your period blood is so rich with stem cells.
That was Peter Nygaard, a fashion mogul who was later convicted of serious criminal allegations involving the sexual exploitation and assault of numerous women over decades. He wasn't joking, he was advertising. And according to the recently released Epstein files, Jeffrey Epstein himself was deeply invested in genetic medicine. He paid researchers at Massachusetts General Hospital for tests that could help create stem cells. Investigators found a $2,000 invoice from 2014 for sequencing part of Epstein's genome. He was enrolled in the Personal Genome Project at Harvard University. This wasn't science fiction, this was happening, and the people in power were laughing about it on daytime television. Let's dig into what the Epstein files actually reveal. In one of his emails, Epstein wrote to a film director who was researching a really bad guy that gets sent to his island. Epstein's response: "Your friend told me about the project she is doing, researching a really bad guy that gets sent to his island. She almost fainted when I told her that person was me." This was 7 months before his arrest. He was bragging about it. 18,000 emails. And what's in them? Code words. Lots of them. Here's an example that's been circulating. Some are like shrimp. You throw away the head and keep the body. The reply: as long as you don't have any hammerhead ones or white sharks. Epstein responds: 2 are Russian. I guess some might refer to them as white sharks. And the final message in that chain: on my island in the Caribbean with an aquarium full of girls.
So what I make of it is basically he's saying that they'll hook up with ugly girls, that the head doesn't matter so much, that the body's what matter. That's the way I read it.
An aquarium full of girls. They weren't even trying to hide it. And when confronted about these code words, what did the people in power do?
You described Pizzagate as a baseless conspiracy theory, alleging you and others ran a trafficking ring from a Washington pizzeria basement. Have you reviewed any 2025-2026 Epstein files that were released that you believe reference or relate to those specific 2016 claims regarding the Podesta emails, Comet Ping Pong Pizza used as code?
Pizzagate was totally made up. It was an outrageous allegation that ended up hurting a number of people. I can't believe you're even referencing it. Deflect, dismiss, attack. That's always the playbook. But here's what they can't dismiss: the testimony of the survivors. Marina Lacerda was known publicly only as minor victim number 1 in 2019 court documents, but now she's speaking out.
Marina was 14 years old when she was first brought to Epstein.
I think with Jeffrey Epstein, it starts somewhere, but then it ends with either you having sex with him, whether you like it or not. He has somebody new in his life. He likes to see them a lot. So I went there a whole bunch of times, and, it led to, unfortunately, he forced me.
She was used until she wasn't useful anymore.
As it came to a point when I was, I'd say 16 and a half or 17, he didn't want me anymore. He was just like, you're too old.
He said that?
He's like, you're too old. I don't want you.
Too old at 17. Another victim testified about trying to escape. I have spent the last 17 years in my own prison for what she, Jeffrey, and all the co-conspirators did to me. I was raped repeatedly. I was raped 3 times a day sometimes, and I was not the only girl on that island. There was a constant stream of girls being trafficked over and over and over again. A constant stream. This wasn't one man. This wasn't one island. This was an operation, organized, protected, and funded by some of the most powerful people in the world. And yet, the Department of Justice still claims Epstein was working alone. I do not believe he died by suicide. Do you have any speculation or view of who killed him? Even Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman convicted of helping Epstein, doesn't believe he killed himself. So who's telling the truth? Let's connect the dots. Virginia Giuffre speaks out. She writes a book. She names names. She records a voicemail linking powerful people to Epstein's network. She gets hit by a truck. Days later, she's dead. Twitch works behind the scenes with Ellen for years. He sees things, he knows things. He leaves a note exposing what he witnessed. He's found dead in a motel room. Ellen, whose name allegedly appears in Virginia's final voicemail, suddenly flees the country, changes her appearance, puts her mansion on the market, tells friends she's never coming back.
Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States.
The official story? She left because of politics, because she didn't like Donald Trump. But the timing tells a different story. The Epstein files were about to drop. Names were about to be released. And Ellen, along with everyone else connected to that network, knew what was coming. Even the set of Ellen's show raised eyebrows.
Oh, well, you know where that is too, right?
What is it? It's on the set of a famous talk show that's now not on anymore. Oh, Ellen! Was that Ellen? Yeah! Fans noticed that the set of Ellen's show bore a strange resemblance to the temple on Epstein's island. The same striped pattern, the same colors, the same design. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe it was hiding in plain sight the whole time. Here's what we know for certain. Jeffrey Epstein ran a trafficking operation that involved some of the most powerful people on the planet: politicians, royalty, business moguls, entertainment industry elites. Virginia Giuffre was one of his victims. She spent years fighting for justice. She wrote a book, she recorded testimony, she tried to expose everyone involved. And then she died under circumstances that she herself predicted. Ellen DeGeneres, a woman who built her entire brand on kindness, is now living in exile in rural England, her reputation in tatters, her closest associate dead, her name allegedly connected to the darkest corners of Hollywood. Twitch left behind a note that may contain the key to everything Ellen tried to hide. The Epstein files have been released, but they're incomplete, redacted, sanitized. The Department of Justice director lied on national television about what really happened to Epstein. And now, Mel Gibson, a man who has been warning us about Hollywood's sickness for years, is finally being proven right. The pattern is clear. Speak out and you get silenced. Ask questions and you get dismissed. Connect the dots and they call you a conspiracy theorist. But the truth doesn't care about labels. Virginia Giuffre's final voicemail may never be officially released, but the message she left behind is loud and clear. They're not done. They're still out there, and they will do anything to stay protected. So what do you think? Is this all just a series of tragic coincidences, or is there something much darker being covered up? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you want more breakdowns like this, uncensored, straight to the point, connecting with the mainstream media won't, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because this story isn't over.